Hello and welcome to the channel Seeing with Chips. If you've been here before, then welcome back. If you haven't been here before, then please consider subscribing and pressing the bell button so that you can be notified of videos that I'm making in the future. Remember, it's free to subscribe, but although subscribe always feels like it needs a payment, but on YouTube channels it's all free of charge. So today, what I'm going to do today is I'm having another trip to Jed's workshop, Hog Farm, Harley mechanic, and we're going to have a couple of jobs done. The first one is going to be, I'm having some running lights put on the front of the bikes where the indicators go, so that they'll become running lights as well as indicators. Now, on this particular video, you've probably noticed, if you've gone onto the channel to watch it, that it's quite a long one rather than the normal ones I've been doing. That's because we've actually filmed this video the whole of the job itself. So that's warts and all, when things are going wrong. So if you're thinking of doing this yourself, then it's a good video to watch because you can actually see the troubles that can actually happen. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it's informative for you. Right, so as I said before, we're down here at the workshop again. This time we're going to fit some running lights that goes on the indicators on my Sport Glide bike. Now, if Jed can just show what we've got down here. Well, I bought these, which are Custom Dynamics, I think they're Pro Beam. Are they Custom Dynamics?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, made by Custom Dynamics.
Yeah, and if we were lucky enough to live in the States, our lights would have a dual element on here, which would make it very simple that all you need to do is take out your indicator bulb and plug in the new light from Pro Beam.
Steve, when we just said to people about the dual element, if you just look on the end, maybe not too clear to everybody, there's like one little nipple on the end. One pin. If it was a dual pin, it would obviously have two. Yeah. Just to clarify for people. Sorry, Steve.
It's all right, and that allows the indicator to work, and as well as a running light to work. Unfortunately, for the European market, they won't allow that to happen. So there's just a one single pin. So when you put that pin in, all you get is the indicator working. But what they give you with these is an extra lead that you have to pick up a power source, and that's the difficult bit, and that's the bit that Jed's going to show us today, is to pick up and of course, to keep it all neat, you want to put this down through the handlebars to be internally wired. So it's a bit bigger job than it would be if you lived in the States, where you're just going to plug in a bulb and away you go.
Yeah, in a dealership in America, you could literally buy this product, go outside, pop your light off, plug this in, and the job is finished. It's a great product. Steve said it isn't only applicable just to Steve's bike; it'll actually fit any Harley that has the newer lens on. One slight little bit of criticism from them. You've got to do a little bit of. Well, we'll show you. We're going to show you in detail actually how you do it to make it look really, really good. But the only criticism I have to Pro, if you ever watch this video of Steve's, and I hope you do, why the hell do you put white wire on it? Why is it not a piece of black wire? White wire is totally visible to everybody. So like, the first thing you've got to do is where it comes out the light, we've got to sleeve it. Just a tiny little bit of criticism. Please put black wire on them, not white. Stupid. Yeah, so Steve said that we're going to fit these Pro Beam, which will actually give you a halo running light, a white light, which then turns off as you indicate. We'll actually show you them functioning. They're a marvellous thing. double up your visibility no end. So again, the same as other videos, we're going to try and show you in a little bit more simplistic terms of people that maybe never, even if you at this stage you're just looking at this video, how the heck do I change my indicator lens and I want some smoke ones on or whatever, or you've damaged it, and you might not know things we take for absolute granted, but if you look at your light very carefully, at the side or even underneath or even at the back, these will rotate if you grab hold of them. There's a tiny little slot, you can see it there, and the purpose of the slot is exactly what I've done. Screwdriver, prise it, flick it, and it's off. So you can actually see that little groove there now. Just something so simple. There is actually only one in each light. Something so simple, you might not have known it, but there you go. That's tip number one on this job. So we're going to actually discard that slightly. So the Pro Beam, orange. So he's got a lens and back to. Where's he gone? Wow, that's tight. That's never been out. Steve, we've never greased them. Wow. I don't want to come out. Come out. I want it to break and bust my fingers. There we go. Hasn't been out, has it? From brand new. It's got some grease on from when it went in. That's good, isn't it? Yeah. But there you go. So just a little twiddle. Single terminal, as we said. And there. So with the Pro Beams, what we have to do is, this is the new unit that's going in, and it'll actually plug in and then sit in there, and then the replacement lens, which now will be clear because, slightly smoked but more clearish. Obviously it'll run a white light, and then this will flash orange, the centre section of it. So the outer's white, the centre's orange. So again, it's the same thing.
As you said before, it gives you a good visibility as a running light for people to see you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. It really, really are. So because this is got to go in, what we've got to do, which makes it a little bit more, we've got to get this wire in there and this resistor, and it's got to all sit in there. But obviously this is all sealed in. We've got to get this wire through. So what you've got to do is drill a small hole in it at this stage, and then we've got to remove this. And then if Steve wants to come round here, we've then got to feed it out of this wire. Now we can't feed it up this wire, it's sealed. So what you've got to do is, I come in at the side of the wire, we'll show you that in a minute, come out, so then it'll come, and this is where I was having a little bit of a grumble. We have this little length of wire that we would show in white, which we don't want to, so we're going to heat shrink that, we'll show you that, and then it goes into the switch gear, and then we'll show you from there on as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drill that, and then I'll show you popping out the other side. So we'll actually keep it running. It will take me a second to drill it.
Yep.
So obviously it's only plastic. Remember, it's plastic. Doesn't matter where you drill it. Would help if you had a sharp drill.
On plastic.
On plastic. It's only plastic. but my drill's no good. I think we can't edit that out, can we? We'll just edit the bit where I go and get another drill now. Yeah. Just so it doesn't become too boring. I think that one needs to go in the sharpener, that one.
Right, we've got a new drill.
New drill bit. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, look at that. It went through that quick and nearly came out the other side. So it does help. Have a sharp drill. It does really help. So obviously now we've got to pass that through and into the back. Right, so you know where we're up to there. Again, now this is the frightening bit. Can you just drop the bike down slightly, Steve?
Hey, now, just something that I should tell you guys, that I was allowed to use the controls on Jed's ramp.
Yeah.
I've known him now for coming up to 9 years. That's the first time I've been anywhere near the controls of this ramp.
We must be trusting you more now. You're coming too often, that's what it is. So, it's a bit frightening the first time you do it, but in and it's a bit brutal, I suppose. It's just in a rubber boot, but just be careful on the back side. Don't get silly with it. Don't stab yourself in the hand at the same time. And there it is.
There it is.
So it's out. You've not got a lot to play with, but you've got a rubber boot, which is there as well. And what I tend to do is put that down. Right, so the boot goes over. Let's try and get some light for people. So obviously you can see now, can you see right at the back, the purple and the black wire going through?
Yeah.
So that's where we want to go through. I can't pull it any more than that, which is obvious because the length of the wire. Now the rubber boot will only go back to where you put it. It's like on the same spot, so it will go back to the same, and then you just push it in as a unit. So what I've got to do now is I come through from the back side, and it is like a glued. I bet that sounded horrible northern. My accent. It's like a glued outer sleeve, so you need to be just a bit careful when you push through here. A point. I normally push something through pointed and then pull it back. So we'll show you that. I don't know if you want to.
I was going to actually ask how the hell you're going to get something through there to get that wire through.
Yeah, it's like one we made earlier. We'll get something quite small but not too sharp. You don't want something simply too small. I actually use a small screwdriver. As grossly big it looks, when it pulls back, it pulls it back through. So I'll show you that. Just pop behind you. There we go. So what we're going to do now, we're going to cheat, because instead of doing it all up there, we haven't got the lock washer on. Don't forget there's a lock washer on this. We made an earlier video, so we cheated and didn't put it back. So I've seen it where people, I'm going to put your light on. I know sometimes we watch these and they don't. If you look at the side of it, it almost looks like you could shove it out the side, but you really don't want to, because then it fills up. But you could actually push that grommet back inwards. I don't do it. I'll show you what we do. I don't know if you need any more light, Steve, for people to see. What I do is, if you look at these wires, there's like a flat side to them, and you can see it's like stuck. All I do, I just try, and then it's gone through, and can you see? You see it there, Steve?
Yeah.
So it's come through. It's come through at the side, which is great. So pull it back out, and then it's a case then of working your wire through it. Now let's just see if these push through. These are the newer ones. I'm just looking, because I've never done a newer one. Let's just see if that grommet will push back. We might have a different technique on these if it does. It should do, but it probably won't do. No, it won't do. I was hoping that might push back to make life a bit easier for us, but it won't. Right, so set your wire. One thing is they don't just put 6 inches of wire on it, which is great. I suppose that's a bonus. They did put white on. White. Why you want white on, I've no idea.
I think you made your point there, Jed.
I made my point. Yeah, made my point. So this is either going to be. This will go through a lot easier now. Obviously, I've gone through once. It's in. And you can see it. See it through.
Yeah.
The tricky bit is we can either use. We've got that through. Normally, before these were developed, we actually used to fit them, so we'd actually push it through the other way. But now we're trying to come from in out. Normally I go out in.
Yeah.
So it'd be a lot simpler to do. So I'm gonna I'm going to have to develop some totally new idea to... Let me just try and push that grommet out, because I can slide it up then, if I can. You just feed it in a little bit. It looks like it's very, very loose in the hole. Did you notice how diplomatically I said that then? I feel like I might be winning. Or...
It looks like it.
Looks like I think I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, that makes life a little easier.
That makes life a bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if I put... You know when you want 3 hands?
Yeah. Well, if I put the light down...
Well, I'm just thinking... Let me just... Right, so it's much more through now.
Yeah.
A bit simpler.
Yeah.
So let's do... So normally I would do it, like I just said, outwards, inwards, so we can actually see it a bit more now. So we know that we were going up the side of the wires. So we've got the bird end. This is when you don't want to spear yourself in it.
Mm.
Sorry I can't show it, but I need to hold it with my thumb. Right. So we come up at the side of the wires. Where's my wire gone? I'm going to chop the end of it off anyway, so it doesn't particularly matter if we damage it.
Something seems to be there.
Looking good, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey!
There we go. So, guess what? We've made the rookie error and we've made it on video. Because who can tell in the subscriptions below what we've done wrong? I'll tell you. We never fed it through the outside.
You didn't go through the hole.
So it even goes to prove we can do it wrong. It takes so long to make these videos. Sometimes you think, "Oh my God, I'd have done that an hour ago." So now it's been through once. It's dead easy. Oh dear, what a rookie mistake. There we go. Where's our little hole there at the back? Yeah, it's a great life, innit? At least it's sunshiny today. We're messing with Alice. Oh God. Again, just don't bother about the bird wire. I should just take the rubber boot off and it would be so much easier, but I'd like to make to make it better.
Now,
so we'll pull it up. So now how we did it before, see if we can do it again. So it's like a double edition, isn't it, really?
It is, yeah, you get 2 for the price of 1.
Exactly, so on the wires a little bit. I'm trying to get my fingers out of the way so you can see it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well done.
So then obviously I'll untangle it all. Did I mention though that about this white wire? Obviously pass it through the hole at the back this time, don't seal it in, pass it through.
The thing is though, Jed, look, that's all white wire now showing.
I know, that's all white outside. Who would put white wire? I'll just pull that back a bit so I'll get a bit more. So all we've got to do now, we got that through dead easy. Can we get it back the other way? That's the question now, isn't it? Can you just shine the light a bit above me, Steve? I'm going to do the classic. Little bit of WD-40.
Yeah.
Works a treat. Or DP60 even. People say, what's DP60? It's a hell of a lot cheaper than WD-40. Same stuff. Different can.
Just bring the rubber grommet back through.
Rubber grommet back through, yeah. It was a great idea to take it out. When you're putting it back, it might not have been. Nah. Okay, with a little bit of a struggle then, we've got the little rubber boot back in again. A bit of WD-40 on it and a little bit of pulling and pushing. So you can now see on the outside and the boot on the outside. Now, if you look at... I don't know if we need any light, Steve, on that. If you look, there's a square section to the actual receiver on the back. See, there's a square section, and you'll see there's a square section in the light itself. So in the body, so that sits square in square, rubber, just a firm push back in, and it's back in. It's pushed our little blue receiver wire up. That doesn't really matter. The bulb will push that back down again. You just push it back in.
What does that do then?
That's actually your contact point, but because we've pushed it in, yeah, because we've pushed it, it's pushed it too far. So technically boob there. So let's just take that back out again. Make sure that wire comes back up again. Wow, it's a good video for troubleshooting things that go wrong, isn't it, as you assemble things to watch. So work it round again, don't just keep prying it, and she'll come out. Well, really what we've got is basically too many wires in the back now, so it's pushed that wire up, so it's gone back again, push the boot back on again, and can you see down there, light, Steve? See the purple wire at the back there?
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way. So there's the purple wire. So we just need to keep that. Let's put my finger in there. Square peg in square hole. Finger in that to push that down. And there we go. It stayed in this time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that stayed in. Yep. And it's functioning. Make sure it goes up and down. Yep. Which it does. We just give it a squirt. Make sure. That's it, one in the arm, and then obviously you plug in. Doesn't matter which way you orientate it. Don't think. No. Where's that slot's gone? There's the slot. There's the slot. Yeah. Now they have again a little slot in the top, and the reason for the slot in the top, screwdriver in. Push, turn. This definitely felt weird when we took that bulb out, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Didn't want to come out, the bulb, the original bulb. Doesn't want to go in either. Right, so where is it in? I think it's in. Yeah, it's in.
Right, okay.
So it's in, we think. We'll know. So again, a little coil. And the hardest thing to get rid of is the resistor. So we can tug on our little white wire and pull it a little bit more in there. Get that resistor, bit of a coil on it all. And then it's in to that degree. And then our lens on top. And that's it, it's on.
Is it on? Yep.
Yeah, we can turn it to if we want it anywhere else, but till we get it all on, we're not. But it's clipped in, seals in, and it ain't falling off. Right, I don't know if I mentioned before, but now we've got this horrible white wire that then's visible, which we definitely don't want.
Do you want to try that now before?
Yeah, we can try. We can actually see if it indicates.
Yeah, because I mean, well, obviously won't run as a running light,
No,
but it'll see whether that bulb's on.
Yeah, it will.
So just turn the ignition on.
On our switch here. And indicate.
Yeah,
and there we go.
it's working.
So it works.
It works. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
And off. So yeah, good call. Always worth checking. So, like I said, I didn't mention this white wire before, but I'll just mention it that why it's not black, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is going to get a little piece of insulation and insulate it. Or we can be really fancy, because I know Steve likes to have some things that other people do, and they do a lovely little sleeving. If you're doing it at home, bit of heat sinking, but because we used to do a lot of custom work. Let's have a look in the drawers behind us, Steve. What's in the drawers behind us? What we actually have is loads of rubbish in drawers. You might not be lucky. What we have is this sleeving, which is very tiny, which looks really good because it goes around both of them, but we don't want it in red. We've got some black. There's the black. And what it does, it goes round both and then over it, so it gives you a nice little finish and goes in.
Yep.
Right, let's get some scissors and chop it. So yeah, we've got this fancy sleeving. You unspire it, unwind it, or I can't think of the words. My eyes gone. You uncoil it.
Yeah.
So you can put it on. And all the way, and then you wind it back in itself. I mean, custom dynamics, instead of putting a white wire, they could put a black one, couldn't they? Or they could just give you two pieces of this fancy sleeving.
Yeah.
I mean, what would that cost them? Nothing, would it? So obviously you can tweak that. So obviously when it's bolted up, guess what?
It's black.
It's black and no white wire showing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So
in fact, that also looks a lot better than the thin black wire that it had on before.
Yeah. So yeah, chunks it up. So we're at that point. We know the indicator works. So now obviously we've got to now feed this down and down, and that silly bit down the middle now, the blinking white wire will show again, won't it? So we've obviously got to do the same. So, custom dynamics, please put black wiring on. So at this point, obviously we've got to here, we need to get to the hole in the bar to get to. So at this point, we've got to release the switch gear. Obviously we don't do it now because we've got to get that bit. So we're going to release the switch gear now, and then we can get into feed. We'll show you how we do that. It's two Torx. Release the Torx, release the cramp, and everything can stand with your cover on your tank so you don't damage the tank. Makes it quite straightforward to do. So we'll just grab a Torx for that and we'll undo that.
Right, so releasing the switch gear.
Yeah, just the switch gear itself will just hang. We've just got to release the main clamp of the master cylinder itself. It will just all drop down out the way. The beauty of this is we've got fly-by throttle on that, so we've got heated grips on this, so we can't normally your fly-by throttle would just pull off. There's no throttle cables. If you've got throttle cables and you're doing this, just release them back, and then you can take your throttle off. We've got a wire down here already, so we can't
for the heated grips.
For the heated grips, so yeah, so they won't just fall off. Normally, they'll just fall off and go dink 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 everywhere. So clamp off, and then the master cylinder will just come off, and it's obviously it's on his pipe. You can just hang it down. Side. Yeah, it won't come to any harm, and your switch gear won't fall off because obviously where we are trying to get to into this wiring here, so we can see our wiring now. So we know now that our wiring can come into the same entry point, and then down the bars.
Yeah.
Now, we have shown you, I don't know if you posted that video or not, of a couple of different routes of wiring.
We did. We showed one with using a chain.
Yeah.
And we showed one with using the wire.
The push wire.
The push wire.
Right.
Yeah.
So on this variation now, we've actually got wires down there. We can't put the chain down because obviously there's wires there. So what we're going to use, we're going to use the push wire. And on for that, we use a piece of thin welding wire and bulldoze the nose over. So you've got to remember, the stupidest of the things that people forget is we want to take a wire from outer to inner, so we need to have the loop on at this end if we were coming up.
So coming up to it, yeah.
Or whatever. We can still push the wire the other way if we want, but obviously you've got to remember to pull it.
Yeah.
So it's a stupid thing like we just did with that light. You know, we put the wire in, we got a little bit giddy, we put the wire through and then realised, flipping it, what an idiot, we haven't put it through the lens part. You know, it's so simple to do. These wires can go in so simply easy, or they can be a struggle. And usually when you struggle, then you end up putting it in the wrong way as well. So it's double the problem then at the end of the day.
Just as an aside, the chain bit that we showed last time, that really wouldn't work if the bars were in situ, would they?
No.
They've got to be off. Really.
Yes, it's for when you're changing your bars.
Yeah.
So we use that technique if you were putting ape hangers on or beach bars on, and you're putting all the wires back in.
Yeah.
You put the chain through, it's simpler.
Yeah.
When you work on the bar, you're putting heated grips on, or you're doing as we're doing now, we're putting this cable in, then you've got to use a much thinner thing.
Yeah.
A thinner thing, because there's already wires down there.
Yeah.
So you've got to feed it. We'll show you why in case you haven't seen that video. Just get it from behind you there, Steve.
Yeah.
So these are just welding rods, and we'll probably try to use this one. So we've got an end so that when you do shove it through, you don't perforate any other wires that are down there. And this is a bigger one if we've got not so many wires in. It's just a bit longer as well, and just pull it through. Yeah. But we'll probably use a shorter one on this particular one as we go. So you've got two options with it. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. What the reason for the loop is when you push it through, it won't perforate any wires that are already in there. But also, you can bring the new wire, loop it through, and just pull it through, pull it back, and then it will pull it through for you. You don't have to start over taping it on to actually get it through. With this one, I'm actually going to go from the bars. So
don't hold the lamp.
Yeah, Steve's got the light. You can see obviously we've got all our wires exiting here through the handlebars. Depends what bite you've got, whatever. And if Steve just looks over to the switchgear, you can see our great big hole here where they're coming out. So I know my feeder wire is long enough. All I'm actually going to do, I know it's a bit, yeah. So I know it's a bit simple and a bit plain, but we're kind of making it for people that have never or are a bit daunted by it. So obviously, just feed the wire up. You can feel it. You know, if you get into anywhere serious, and then if Steve wants to come over here, shine the light up if you can. Well, so at some point we might see it. We'll look. If not, it'll come to the top part of it. Right. So let me just. Sorry, Steve. Just need to. Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. So we've hit a classic one here, which is really good to show you. These videos are really doing well. When you make these handlebars, obviously the switchgear is on a narrower inch bar. So what we've got here is this tube just comes in and then it's welded around the outside. So we've got a square shoulder in here now. So what's happening? I'm actually hitting that square shoulder, and I can't get it through. So done it a million times. Obviously, what you need to do now is common sense. We need to go the other way through, so that we can pass over that shoulder and down the arm. So see how easy it is.
Yeah. The issue then is that are you going to have to take the wire with it?
No. What you do then is if you're wise, you have a wire that has two ends on it, and then you just pull it out this end and connect it. But you see, ours hasn't got two ends on.
So you have to make one.
This is we're going to make one. So everything's going really singing on these videos for a minute today. We're hitting every problem that anybody watching is going to hit, aren't we, today?
That's what these things are for.
Yeah, people are looking so that they can come across the same problem. Right. So the biggest problem we've got now is the fact that it's going to be really hard to find it in here. which it is. It's going to be really difficult. How many wires have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wires coming through there. So it's going to be really tricky. Let me just see if, the way the day's gone.
Yeah,
We're never going to do it, are we? The way that today's gone, we really do need to go the other way. Yeah, no, we really do. Right, so so I'm going to really struggle. So I'm going to show you something else that we do. So we're going to go back the other way. And I'm either going to be really lucky, which you never have. Right, so sometimes what I do now, twist the wire and twist and push it. And sometimes you can get lucky. It's close because I can actually feel it, as daft as it sounds. Let me just shine up under there for me, Steve, please. You did say you were going to do this yourself, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Yeah.
I wish you would have done that. Right. Let's see if it's just gone through. I think it has. Yeah. Right. So by twisting it, go on.
You got an end.
You get an end through. So don't give up, because you can see even we struggle.
Yeah.
Even we struggle doing them. So obviously now you've got your loop through. Make sure you've got it not fed through anywhere, because you saw what a struggle it was then to get it through. So feed it through. And we keep them quite tight, so it is a little bit tight to pull through. And then just a spot of tape on. And then you just pray and hope then that it doesn't come off when you're filming it, because today's going to be one of them days, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's probably going to come off this now, make us look a right set of idiots, isn't it? But hopefully not. Green for go.
Yeah.
Green for go. So make sure we're not caught up. That's a touch tight, coming through that.
There it is.
And there it is. So you just feed it back off that and feed it off that.
It's going to show with all that black stuff.
Oh,
isn't
you
it?
see again. Did we mention in this video about this white wire syndrome? No, we never did. Never mind. Your viewers are going to be sick of us mentioning that white wire. I'm sure there's a reason for it, though. You know, I'm sure that somebody will give a comment saying the reason for that white wire is blah blah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if there is a reason for it, please tell us.
Yeah, please tell us.
We'd love to know.
Yeah, it really would. Right, so we've got that through, so we can put all this switchgear back together again now, and then obviously we've got the same thing to do on the other side. I don't think there's a desperate need to show you exactly how we do it, because it's just a repeat of the other side. What we'll do is we'll get this bolted up, we'll get this bolted back up, and we'll come back to here with 2 white wires. And then we'll show you where we go with the 2 white wires then from there on.
Right.
Okay, so we're back to where we promised you.
Done that side?
Both are on. We'll set them all up in a minute when Steve sits on the bike and gets all his mirrors and levers back straight. But we've got our 2 white wires again. The dreaded white wires that are here. We fed them through the headstock and the rear. And they're just about long enough. So the best place to pick up from is actually in the headlight. Yeah, pick up on your what would be your side light or whatever. So we'll show you that. We'll take the lens off and we'll show you inside. So obviously headlights pretty standard. They're all pretty much the same. It's a Phillips screw underneath with a little nut. Make sure you don't unscrew it too far so you lose the little nut on the end. I'll show you when I take it off and get it off. No,
is that nut locked in, or is it?
No, it's not. It can just fall off. It's ever so tiny as well. It really is tiny. Don't think we've ever been in here, have we?
No.
Oh, we never. This is a new one. Oh, and it's solid. It's solid. It's just. Let's see if it's just stuck. So, hold that a little bit. Wow.
It is tight.
Oh, it is tight. Wow, so I think we'll take the little screw right out. See where we're going to do that. So turn a little bit. Show you the one. So there's the little tiny nut.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that.
Definitely don't want to lose that. That holds it on. Ever so small.
Yeah.
Don't lose that one. Oh, rim is well on. It's had some great British rust on it, hasn't it? That's it. Let's go on now. They're not normally this tight, so. Wow. There we go. Not normally that tight.
No rust on it, is there?
No, it does hook into the backs.
Yeah.
So, and then, obviously, to take it off and do the holding screws to the lens. Oh, they've changed them. There used to be Torques then, or there used to be Phillips screwdrivers, but now they're Torque. Little tiny Torques, T20s.
Yeah.
On the new ones, Phillips screws on the
old ones.
On the old ones.
Seems to be they're using a lot more torque on the more modern bikes.
Yeah, it's to stop people playing.
Is it?
Yeah, because everybody's got a Phillips screwdriver, but not many people have got Torque sets.
Yeah.
So they put these fancy screws in, and then you can't get in them or anything. That's quite interesting. I just noticed something there that's different. Look how all the shell on this is supported on the actual headlight. Wow. Even we've never been in here before.
No.
And it's a fancy headlight, that's why.
Yeah.
It's a posh headlight because you've got a posh bike.
Just got what?
Posh bike, yeah. So the can's fitted on this one. Wow. So we've never been into one of them.
How are we going to pick this up then?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is all new to us. Wow, it's not normal. If you've got a normal headlight, you'd be just in there now and
out.
away. If you're watching this and you wanted to actually watch it because it's of the particular bike model, we've actually removed the headlight. You saw us just struggling a little bit there. It's a little bit different, this one, to the normal. You normally just have a lens that you can remove, but actually on this one, it's a whole sealed, very expensive unit that now you can see now it's off and a plug on the rear. It just comes through the ball. Stevie gave me, it has a great big hole in the back side of the ball, which is great for what we're doing because we can do it. So if you're doing it for this bike particular model, take the bolt out the bottom and it all just literally comes into pieces. It's quite simple. If you're not doing it for this bike, or you're doing it for Sportster or an older bike, you don't need to remove all this that we've removed. You would just remove the headlight lens and you can get into the wiring. If you were doing that and it's an older bike, you would then pick up an orange wire, which would be then your constant live or your side lights. On this particular bike, we've got a multi-pin plug, so obviously now at this point, we need to know which is what does what. So because we're trying to break it, make it simple, this is like a £1 shop tester. It wasn't, but it's, that's what you can buy them for now. And you can test. So if Steve turns the power on for us, we've got it clipped onto earth, and we've got 4 wires, pretty obviously nearly all the time black's earth, so we power into that, nothing. Then we've got a light on there all the time. Now what we want is a constant light, so basically your side light bulb. So we've got that one there, then we've got nothing, and then we've got that one. So then if Steve goes around the other side, what you need to test for is, obviously we've got constant light there. So if Steve goes high beam, nothing. So nothing changes, that's good. So if we go on to the other one where we got a light, and Steve goes high beam, it goes off. So we know that that's our high beam, low beam. So that's low beam now. He flicks it, goes high beam. If I go to the other wire, it should light up and go high. Oh no, he switched it off. Leave it on high beam, please. So it's high beam. So if he switches off, so it's gone off. So we know that the middle two are low beam and high beam, and this one happens to be side lights. Flick again, nothing happens. So this is the wire we want to break in onto. That's how you would test for it. If you were doing an older bike, like I say, it is actually an amber light, or you can go to the little bulb. That's a dead easy way of cheating. Just on something new, it's just a little bit different. You might be watching because it's a newer bike. Yeah, so it's on the outer blue one is the one you want to pick up on. Okay, so we've got our two ends, they're together, and we've cut our outer sleeving back. We're actually going to use a Scotch lock on this, called a Scotch lock. Some people are going to start slagging us off and all sorts because of these, because they're not really... They made the brilliant, they are a good idea, but normally you would solder in, but this is a CAN bus system now. If we start soldering in, we'll change the polarity within the wiring system. So if we Scotch lock into it, there's a good chance that we won't get any fault codes. So with a Scotch lock, you can buy these anywhere, pretty much available anywhere. All you do is, there's like grooves inside it with a metal spike that comes down and pierces it. So you work out the outer one is the through cable and the other one is the one that you're putting in. So outer one is the through, and then the other one just passes through. I always bear the wires and feed it back on itself. Just, I don't know why, just something I've always done. Let's just feed that one in first. So you can see it only goes in half of the way, and then the outer one goes in it, and it clips together, a bit fiddly. So it's all in, make sure it's in, and then you just squeeze it, and it makes a contact between the pair, and then just clip it, and that's it. It's done. It's simple, and it works. They work well. Quite interesting a point to note. We were just having a little laugh. The Great American Bike, built in Mexico, on the 15th of the 3rd, 2022. Tested by Number One. So Mexican built.
That's the wiring loom.
That's the wiring loom itself. Yeah. So that's all ready now. We put our sleeving on again to hide some white wiring issues that we had. I think we've passed that one now, haven't we?
I think so.
Yeah, when we put that back together, we'll clip it back into the light, and then we'll show you that one, what we end up with. Something I see a real lot with these, and I just thought we'd show you. You can see that the nut's square on the bottom on my finger, then it's tapered. What everybody does is they put the taper on first, feed it with the taper. That's actually the wrong way around. It actually goes on shoulder first and then taper outwards. And if we can, I'll show you why. If you put it on taper first, it's going to be really difficult to show people this, but we'll try. On the day of it today, so we'll show you. Oh, get the screw through. So if I put it on taper first, it doesn't sit square on the thread, so I can't let go of it. Sorry, I'm hoping you can see it. Yeah. It doesn't fit square, so you get a cross thread. Now, if you put it on the other way around, the chamfer then goes onto this part of the curve, and then it goes on, not cross-threaded. So you can see it. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Stupid little tip. Seen it a million times that it's wrong, and they're always cross-threaded, and then they won't come off. So when you're doing it, make sure you put it on the right way around.
Right.
Just one of them silly things. So now, obviously, you can see that we've got the headlight back on. There was no really point in showing you that because you could be doing a different headlight. This is a bit of a posh bike, so it's got a posh headlight. So obviously, rims back on, headlights back on, wiring's back in. Into our wiring up there, which is just a bit of a stretch. I'm going to just try and pinch a bit of the sleeving to hide a bit more of that white wiring that we can't hide, because we really are at full stretch on that wire. Yeah, we're really tight on that, Steve.
Yeah.
So we've got that to our limit there. So we've got our wiring in, we've got our lights on, and they're on, so Steve can turn on. If you want to give me the camera, I'll turn on. So we should have 3 white lights. Let's pray up. And there we have. So we've got 3 white lights. You can see the visibility now. The incredible difference that it makes is unbelievable. So if Steve wants to indicate, you'll see what actually happens. There we go. So he indicates, the white light goes out, but the other side stays on. And then he'll switch that off. No, stop, and then it'll pause, and then it comes back on again. And do the other side. So it's off, and then you'll notice when he switches it off, you get a pause, and then it comes back on. So it's pretty good, really good. So a good result. We're going to set them all up now. They're all a bit wonky. One looks brighter than the other, but they're not on straight at the minute. So we just put them all straight. We'll line all the grips up for Steve, the mirrors up. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed that one. It's been a bit of a challenge. We've had some good bits, and quite a lot's gone wrong, really, which is really good because we've shown you all the bits that go wrong to prove that it doesn't always go right. Thanks very much, Steve. Hope you enjoyed that. There we go, and the both should come back on. Flash, and then the lights should come back on. Oh no, everything's gone off. He's turned it all off. Yeah, there we go.
Well, I hope you found that informative. Something that I forgot to mention on the video, both Jed and myself forgot to mention, is that to actually make sure the indicators work efficiently, and to be quite honest, I found this out on the ride home, is that when I started going, I realised that the indicators were flashing quicker than they should have done. The reason for that is I forgot to inform the CAN bus for it to learn that it's got some new lights on. To do that, you have to put the hazard flashes on for about 2 or 3 minutes. So I stopped, pulled over in a lay-by, put the hazard flashes on for 2 or 3 minutes, and hey presto, the indicators working perfectly. So, hope you enjoyed it. And that's all for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.